Or should the nation say no nights off? What's good to you, and you that's watching? As the room fill up, be sure to smash upon the like button. Let a friend or a neighbor know where to go when they want to tune in to Cowboys Sports Talk and beyond. Happy Saturday to you and everyone that's watching. Let's continue. Let me know if the audio is straight. Let me know if I'm coming in clear. Let's get it. Yup. Ain't no party like a cowboy party. But what about a Law Nation groove? Come on. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come on. Audio straight. Appreciate you, iRock. Appreciate you, Natasha. Thank you for jumping in. I know the fight is going to be tonight, but the fight is about 2 hours away, give or take. Got a lot of preliminaries going right now. So I thought that, hey, since I'm up, you guys should be up. We should be talking about this one way or another. I know I'm late to the party. I get it. But shout out to Derrick Henry. The rumors. The rumors. Let's address this first and foremost. For those who are out there who's not aware of it, that it is the lion season. You want to drive up the price. You want to say, hey, this guy is by short going to this team. Oh, no, he's going to that team. Oh, by the way, we are willing to give up 2 first-round draft picks for him, or we are willing to give up a first-round draft pick for him. It's going to go all around until draft day. And then you're going to get a little bit of it after day 1. And then you're going to get a little bit of it after day 2. And then you're going to get to hear and see a little bit of it after day 3. And then you're going to hear disgruntled people, contract, all of that stuff all around. So the reason why I'm bringing up Derrick Henry is because now these are tangible things, right? Let me see if I can pull up the in the beginning. All right, I'm going to pull this up. Shout out to you, Alan. Appreciate you, man. Swain. And y'all know, man, we got a lot of Eagle fans here. Oh, get down. Oh, get down. I didn't know the music was still going on over here. Get that bird, man. Go get that bird. Slap that bird out of there. All right, so we got a lot of Eagles fans hit me up, jumped in my DM saying, hey, Law, it's over with for y'all now, man. We are going to sign King Henry. And I'm sitting here like, hey, settle down just a little bit. You know, you got to understand that it's the lion season. But even if you do sign him and pick him up, you're still going to catch these L's over here. You know what I'm saying? That's just what it is. But here's the truth of it all. You will have players to endorse, right? And I believe Pro Football Focus said that A.J. Brown endorsed Derrick Henry, trade to the Eagles, and that caught wildfire or what have you. And that's just how it is. Now, should we be in fear of the Eagles making moves? And should we draft certain players to counter? No, you stay true to your board. You stay true to your reality. You stay true to what you bring to the table. And on top of that, you will say to yourself, ladies and gentlemen, the Cowboys just last season was 12-5. The 4-ladder, the 3-ladder networks will have you to believe that the Cowboys were 5-12, right? And a third of you guys will feel like the same, right? And then y'all would take what we just did in the last 2 seasons, 12-5, 12-5, and water it down yourselves and say, hey, the Cowboys can't do anything. Law, do you want to hear what I have to say about that? And I'll be like, yeah, what's going on with it? And then they say, well, it is because, you know, you got Dak Prescott, right? Or it's because that's who the Cowboys, that's who they are, right? And that's just what it is. And I like what my guy Big says, window is closing fast, right? we've been talking about window closing since '07, right? That window about to close, man. What kind of window the Cowboys got? We forever going to have a window that's open over here. That's just how it is. We are Super Bowl or bust every year. We were expecting to go to the Super Bowl when Dave Campo was coaching the team. 5-11, 5-11, 5-11, right? Andre says, Riggs, I need Riggs. We need help in the trenches, Law. Oh, we need some help. I'm getting too old for this. Riggs. And the funny thing about it, Tanner McKay, baby, yeah, let's go draft him. The funny thing about it is that Riggs, he started off young, eating all type of stuff, smoking cigarettes, and then the second episode series, he was eating dog food or what have you, dog biscuits. And then by the end of Lethal Weapon, him and Danny Glover became the same age, you know? They both was old, right? I said, how did Riggs caught up with Danny Glover, y'all? Yes, indeed. Y'all know, let me know if I'm lying. At the end, y'all watched the last Lethal Weapon. Riggs literally caught up with Danny Glover. So that's just what it is, y'all. So look, that's what the draft will make you believe too, right? That this dude is old, right? That this dude all of a sudden gonna catch up with such and such. But it is what it is. But neither here nor there. I wanted to talk about the 105.3, The Fan. They came out with some more and more information about the CeeDee Lamb deal versus Trayvon Diggs situation from their thought points of it. And I want to tell you guys, this is my opinion. The Cowboys should go ahead and extend these boys. They should figure it out. They should not be going back into this thing saying, you know what, we can catch lightning in a bottle again. These guys are at their optimum playing situation. And the more you try to squeeze $5 to $6 million, it will hurt you in the long run. It will sully the relationship that you have with said player. Let's go. Ernest, appreciate you. He says, let's go. Law, let's go. Cowboys, appreciate you, man. Let's listen to this audio, man. I thank you so much, though. Ernest, he's an honest guy, man. I appreciate you. Thank you so much, man.
Okay, so CeeDee Lamb got his fifth-year option picked up. This figure is going to be around $18 million. And that is hopefully just a temporary placehold, essentially, for his contract once he gets an extension done this offseason. And I think that while he's going to get an extension done, I don't think we're going to see that till probably July or August. When you look back in the past when they've gotten done extensions with guys that they had a real motivation to get things done with early, Tyron Smith, Travis Frederick, Zach Martin, when they got all those offensive linemen done, they almost all did it like around July and August, like at the beginning of training camp. Training camp is ripe for getting a lot of deals done because agents come out there, hang out in the tower with Jerry and watch practice, and they're able to work on some stuff.
Yeah, Jay Glazer negotiates for everybody.
Yeah, including the head coach. And so you get the CeeDee Lamb deal done, hopefully. If you end up tacking on a 4-year extension, that would not replace years 4 and 5 on his contract, now that the 5th-year option's been pulled up. It tacks onto the end of it. So CeeDee Lamb would essentially be playing on a 6-year contract, hopefully, once you get a 4-year contract extension done.
No doubt. So my guy, Bobby Belt, he said a lot of hopefully. He said a lot of maybes, a lot of, hey, normally, you know. And my thing is, when you play with fire, who believes fire? When you're playing with it, it burns, right? So, and we're going to talk about, you know, I know y'all see Gibbs in the title or what have you. Trust me, we're going to get around to that. We're going to talk about the aspect of where this team should be at, too. Here's what I'm saying. In this type of contract situation, we've seen how muddy it got a little bit with the Niners. The problem is when you start talking about the Niners and how they handled the Debo situation. Hey, CD Lamb, a whole bunch of other people saying, hey, you come on over here, Debo, right? A lot of people were saying, hey, man, Debo, come on over to Cowboys, right? He'll be a good spot over here. We'll figure out something, right? And eventually he got paid his bag, got paid his coins. But what I'm going to say here is there's two different approaches. The 4-ladder, the 3-ladder network, they don't care about the Niners like that. They for dog sure care about the Cowboys. So the little back and forth, the disagreements that we will have, it will be on all corners of the world, right? The back and forth and the disagreements that the Niners have, it'll be on the back page of somewhere where nobody can see. And that, my friend, is a difference of how, and I'm not trying to say you got to mask people's feelings, but there's powers in words. Powers in words, man. And when you start talking about the ideology, when you start talking about those type of things, whereas this whole entire world, everything that you think of, right, was once spoken, was once said, right? You know, so it's power. Somebody sat down one time before and thought of the chair that I'm sitting in, and they spoke of a particular game plan on how to craft said chair. And now all of a sudden, law is sitting in the chair. So the same could be said about the ideology of making sure that you're taking care of the things that you value. And if you talk down on some things, you will speak it into existence. Dallas Cowboy hard hitter says, we don't fear King Henry. Bring him on to the east. Yeah. Yeah. That's a good pivot, but let me finish this up, and then I'm going to touch back on the King thing, okay? Let's do that.
Then once you get that done, then you can hopefully turn your sights to Trayvon Diggs.
Unless they decide to draft a wide receiver in the first round this year and use him.
Appreciate you for the support.
Yeah, what's the chance that Diggs is the Amari of their defense, and they're like, we're moving off of this. We're not going to pay him, because I think Broadus was suggesting or speculating that there could be a lot of complications with a Trayvon Diggs extension. Steven talked about it with KMC.
Well, obviously our focus has been on keeping the guys who were free, keeping the guys that we could keep, but we're not able to, always have a clean run. But as we said, we were certainly thrilled to get Dono Wilson in the mix there. Certainly we lost some tough ones in terms of Dalton and then, of course, Connor McGovern. But, that's certainly our priority. And, as we move forward, that'll become a bigger priority here as we move past the draft. We've historically signed a lot of guys during that training camp period to extensions. But, guys like CD Lamb and Diggs are certainly on our radar in terms of guys that we'd love to have around here for another 5-6 years, whatever that turns out to be.
No doubt. So, hey, Eastside, don't be disrespectful, fam. Just don't be disrespectful. Okay, that's my once and only time, and we don't care about your coins over here. So don't be disrespectful. Okay, and you just hearing it from Law. You're hearing it from your daddy over here now. Don't be disrespectful. All right, so and that's the one and only chance you get now. And then we're going to have to slap you up out of here. Okay? Now we on the same page? Okay? All right. So what we're saying here is you better go ahead and pay Trayvon Diggs. And you better make sure that you don't play around with this, because it's been many a moons. It's been many a moons that the Cowboys sat back and said, man, I wish. We were saying literally, I wish we had a DB that can get 2 interceptions a year. Literally, 2 interceptions, it was at least a situation where we would have damn near a parade going around here. We would sit back and say, oh, my gosh, man, wow, this dude got an interception. But Trayvon Diggs, since entering in with the silver and blue, had north of 2 interceptions every single year. And on top of that, here's the situation. This thing that we call the Dallas Cowboys and how they operate and how they move, don't play around with fire, because when you do that and when those type of things happen, the Dallas Cowboys tend to dismiss their own selves by thinking that they are the smartest people in the room. And when you do those type of things, we would sit back and say, God, dog, you had the chance and the opportunity then. Why not get in front of it before others? Now, here's the truth. The Dallas Cowboys, when they go out here and do those type of things, first and foremost, here's the truth. That this particular team, if they don't get in front of the money and allow someone else to get paid, who is another dynamic DB who haven't got paid so far? Y'all let me know. Is it AJ Terrell? That's his name, right? If he fool around and get paid, let's see, north of what Denzel Ward got, or any of those Jair Alexander, then all of a sudden, my guy Trayvon Diggs is going to be like, hey, I'm better than AJ Terrell. I'm going to want that type of money. So it's why I'm saying it behooves the Cowboys to get in front of it and at least secure your own in that way. But don't go back and say, well, we didn't like what he displayed for us in 2023. We're going to put the franchise tag on him because we believe that we got to negotiate the contract in these ways. No, don't play around with fire. Don't do that. Peebo says Eastside got the Danny DeVito hairline. But shout out to Eastside, man. But he know, hey, look, man, I don't care what he say, but don't be sitting out here throwing corns and being disrespectful with it. You know what I'm saying? Look, you can say it, but don't direct me like that, though. That's all I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? But neither here nor there. I think the Mods done took good care of him so far. You know what I'm saying? But shout out to him.
Diggs is complicated because where they're probably going to feel like he's valued Diggs' side and where the Cowboys probably feel like he's valued in the middle ground that they're going to have to find. The Lamb contract is so much easier.
Yeah.
Because not just because of the performance, but because of the agent negotiating it. Torrey Danny has negotiated recent market-setting receiver deals like Deebo Samuel. It's easy to take the framework of those and go, hey, look, this is clearly the standard. This is what's been negotiated. Let's fall into these terms. It's easier than that. The Diggs one is difficult because you see deals get done for Jair Alexander and J.C. Jackson, and they're kind of all over the place and there's not like a set standard for where a player like Diggs, who's kind of unique in terms of what he's able to do, fits in. If I am Trayvon Diggs' side, what I'm doing is I'm grabbing the quote that Will McClay gave last training camp, when they were asked, what do you think about these people who are super critical of Trayvon Diggs? And he said, clickbait. He's elite. He's an all-pro player. That's all I'm walking in with is, look.
Ooh. Using their own words against them. I absolutely like that. If that is the thought track of Trayvon Diggs, people, I'm quite sure that here's my truths on this, though. I'm quite sure that Trayvon Diggs will be coached up by his brother Stephon Diggs. I'm quite sure that will be the situation. I'm quite sure. I'm to the degree of thinking that if the Cowboys don't shore up those loose ends, then, man, it can get crazy from here. All right, so what I like to do here, if you guys like to jump in to give me your thoughts on this while this is all processing, all you have to do is click this link right here. I'm going to submit it. Just give me 1 second here. We're going to submit it right here. It's going to be to the top of the page. Give me 1 second here. And we can talk, we can go over some things. The link is there in the chat area. And let's listen to, and I got a pin right there up to the top. Boom. It's not a call-in number. Normally we do call-ins, but we're going to do the link action.
This is what your personnel department says about us. And so The other reason why it makes sense to get some stuff done with Trayvon Diggs now is because now that Terrance Steele has signed his restricted free agent tender, which he did yesterday, he's locked in for this year, and they are going to continue to work on a long-term extension. If they are unable to get that done, you are then looking at the prospects of Steele and Diggs being unrestricted free agents next year. Now, you're not tagging Steele over Diggs. There's no world where the Cowboys would do that. But that's the idea, is that if you don't get an extension done with Diggs and you have to tag him next year so he doesn't hit the open market, you're now exposing a young right tackle who's shown a lot of success and a lot of growth to an open market, and somebody would pay for that.
No doubt, no doubt. So somebody may pay for it next week. A second round tender, I believe they got on Terrance Steele, and I look at it where they're looking at it like, oh, well, they themselves got an opportunity and a chance in a situation to say, we just made an undrafted guy such a great development piece that within less than 5 years, his overall value is worth the second round. Plus, we can take consideration to match whatever team present to us if we don't like the second round draft pick that's on the table. That, my friend, is pretty much playing with house's money. You can look at it that way, or you can look at it like, man, why play with fire? Go ahead and extend the kid now. You can put that money, you can prorate some of the $4 million. It won't be a direct cap hit, and then it can be into a futures contract, maybe a 4-year deal. You can go rock with that. But now you're going to enter right back into the drawing board next season if he's not signed. Captain Rob says the most important position in football are QBs, LT, pass rusher, corner, wide receiver. We have all 5 right now. Young, prime, stop playing around. Yeah, I mean, your quarterback is important. And left tackles is important because most quarterbacks are right-handed, right? And, either you're going to throw the ball and get down the field, or you're going to have someone to tackle the quarterback, to sack the quarterback. Those are the options there, right? So you got to have ways to defend both, and that is what it is. But neither here nor there, the Dallas Cowboys, we are in a spot or in a position that we draft pretty well. We draft pretty well to a degree, whereas we don't have to. We don't have to sit back and say, well, we don't have to go into this draft saying, oh, we need those guys right here, those guys as it relates to a left tackle, pass rusher, quarterback, wide receiver. We don't have to, because we took care of business during the free agency and the draft. But the only thing is, when you're approaching this game, BPA, when you have good guys and when you are leaning on the fact that, hey, I'm now not in the mercy of drafting a person, then you can get a little too cute, meaning that you look at your current roster and say, hey, man, we don't need X, Y, and Z, so therefore we can reach. No. You still stick to your board, BPA, and get things out of the mud that way. Law, I believe that our 26th pick this year will either replace Diggs, Steele on the roster next season, basically. It all depends on how the board falls. All right, so me and this past week, Ashley, we talked about where the Cowboys will go at the 26th spot, and she thinking guard. A lot of us thinking guard. A lot of us thinking offensive lineman. I'm looking at core, right? I want a guy that you can put down inside that can help solidify this team, whether it be somebody that you guys love or somebody that you guys probably don't know of. And if the Cowboys say to themselves, Terrance Steele, we have our reservations. Terrance Steele, we don't know whether or not he will be ready week 2, week 3. Let's go into this draft and let's draft a Darnell White. Let's go get a guy that can play right tackle. Let's go get a guy that all of a sudden, even if Terrance Steele is ready week 1, You can kick and slide him back at left guard. You can start having him playing on the left side. And you can keep Tyler Smith at left tackle, and you don't have to worry about Tyron Smith. Tyron Smith can be your quote-unquote swing tackle. Those are all straight-up chances and possibilities that those things could be that, right? Or you can say, well, I like Terrance Steele recovery. I can see where he's going to be at. Let's go into the later rounds. Let's go into maybe the 4th round or the 5th round, and let's go draft for Mafi. Let's go get a mean, nasty guy that we can develop, put our hands on, and let's see if he can get some nasty work done at guard, right? And the Cowboys can be pretty much high on their particular mindset of this by saying these things right here, ladies and gentlemen. The Cowboys can clearly or literally say to themselves, look what we just did with Terrance Steele. He was an undrafted guy, and look how we elevated him. Now, let me know in the chat. Is Mafi do Mafi have more work to do than Terrance Steele coming out, right? Because I can look at Mafi tape and I can say, well, his hand placement, he can work on that. He got a great anchor. He got a nice streak, mean streak about himself. Feet, they look clumsy here and there, but I see feet and hands, you can work on that. Strength, man, he got God-given strength over there, man. Shoot, he can be probably a guy that 3-4 months, maybe 6 months, I'll say, you can get them hands right. And then when you get the hands right, another 6-7 months, you get the feet right. But those are things that the Cowboys have to consider if you're going to get a guy to develop. And you can slowly bring them in because of the pieces that you already have around you. Competition too, Law. Yeah, competition does a lot, So my guy, Coach Marv, earlier, he hit me up, and he said, what about Bergeron, right? And I don't have film that's eligible to play live, but let me tell you something. Bergeron is a flexible guy too, Matthew Bergeron, by the way. Those are things that the Cowboys could literally do for the 2022 season. The 2023 season, I meant to say, pardon me. So, yeah, they can do those things.
They would outbid
Is
you.
there a rule that you can't use the tag a certain amount of years in a row?
On, like, players or in the league, period?
Each team.
No, you you mean in terms of a team cannot use a tag X number of years in a row, or on a player?
Can a team use the tag like 10
yes,
years in a row?
They can use it every single year if they want to.
Yeah, but I think that the rule is, as far as the tag, let me get this highlight off. The rule is, as far as the tag, I think you can't tag a player more than 2 years in a row, right? Is that you can only tag a player 2 years in a row, right? But every year it have to be a higher tag than the previous tag, I believe. Some crazy ruling about that. Robinson says, believe me, I want to keep both Steele and Diggs. I just know how damn cheap Steven is. Laugh out loud. Oh, my gosh, man. Stephen Jones is the type of guy that say, hey, I got this for you. You just got to be able to take it. But the thing that you got for me is not new, but I got it for you. You better appreciate the thing I gave you. You know what I'm saying? That's just who he is, man. Some people like that. And some people refuse to buy new things. They like to buy it old or used. Or when somebody say, hey, I need a car, the first mindset would be, hey, that's depreciation, of value in a depreciative situation there, I'm going to buy a used car, but not a new one. And there's some people that been down that road before and say, you know what, if I'm going to buy a used car, at least let it be certified, let it be a certified used car and still have some type of warranty. Give me at least an umbrella, right? But there's some people that always look at it like, man, hey, car lots and car sales are are pretty much useless, right? And it's a scheme, man. It's a sham that they scheming people for buying new cars when you can go buy an old one or a used one, right? And that's just how people think. And I think that's how Stephen Jones think. Like, I'm not finna buy no new car. Buy you a used one, and you better figure out how it works. And then if I draft a player, I'll value that person, you know. But I'm not finna value someone else's new car or someone else's used car or what have you, like I value my own too. So that's just how he operates, and that's how he rolls.
And there's penalties involved and multipliers involved if you're tagging specific players certain years in a row. But a team can use it however much they want. So if you get a deal done with Diggs, that's good because then that buys you some time if you need to get something done with Steele.
Priorities, as crazy as it is, I know the value of what we can see from a skill set that Diggs and Lamb will be more valuable from the eye perspective. But technically, like my guy said, you know, if left tackles are valuable, right tackles are too, right? And the Cowboys should value more of the offensive linemen in this situation, because when Terrance Steele, and I know, you know, my guy Eastside, he probably somewhere in there, hey, Law, he's selling dreams. Here he goes selling dreams again, right? And I get all of that. But I would tell you guys right now that even when we look at all of this from an aspect of what or how valued Terrance Steele was last season, we could no longer run on the right side when he went down. It hurt us. It might have hurt us more in the playoff game than us losing Tony Pollard. Believe it or not. Because of how nasty Terrance Steele was able to block by him getting hurt at the wrong time, right? And not being able to perform at all. And, of course, injured for the season. That really hurt us more than what we can imagine. Tony, the fight, we got another hour, man, before the fight. Around about another hour before the fight kick off, and we're going to depart and get over there and watch the fight or what have you. I can't show it on live or what have you because, you know, the the YouTube monsters would take us down and you know, all of that stuff. But I'm quite sure that you guys know where to go watch the fight at, purchase your fight tickets or what have you. It's on right now. Some of the preliminaries are going on right now. If you're a big boxing head, you probably be watching that right now as you're watching some of the Law Nation stuff over here. But let me get to this point, and we can talk about running backs. Do Law Nation want Bijan Robinson for the Dallas Cowboys? Law Nation would tell you if he's there at the 26th spot, you'll be hard-pressed to pass up on him, right? You'll be a fool to say, hey, man, we can go find a running back in the 5th round to do the same thing, right? But at the 26th pick, if he's your BPA, you draft him. But I'm quite sure that the Giants Nation, if there's one guy over there, Giants Nation, right? Like a Law Nation over there, or my guy Bad Dog, right? If Robinson is there at 25 and you're having the discourse that you're having right now with Saquon Barkley, it's going to be hard for them to pass up on him, man. That's just the reality of it, y'all. It's going to be hard for him. It's going to be hard for them to pass up on Bijan. I'm with the belief that he will not be there at 26. And I'm with the belief that I would not be mad at it. I'm flat out would not be mad at it. I'm not. I would like the fact for the Cowboys to go out and just go draft Gibbs. If he's the best player on there, draft Gibbs. Don't play around with fire. Oh, wrong. I don't have the Gibbs one. But I can tell you I got Zach right here, and there's Charbonnet. Even if Gibbs is not there, you got Zach Charbonnet. in the second round. You just draft him. But don't sell your form for one guy. No, don't do that. Don't do that. For a running back, no. Don't do that. Continue to look at your board, better your best, measure everything out, and say, I'm going philosophy. Don't go, hey, I'm looking for this particular trait or this one particular move that a running back can do. Go with philosophy. Go with the fact that, hey, you got the offensive line guy. If he's there, you draft the offensive line guy, right? Or go with the fact that if on your board you got Quentin Johnson there or JSN there and Zay Flower or anybody that you have highly graded on your board or highly rated on your board, then you go there. But don't sit there and say, hey, man, this guy's like a tag and a half higher than the guy that I got right here. Let me trade away draft picks to get this guy. No. D. Schiff says Bijan is top offensive weapon. Yeah, he is. But not at the cost that you give up everything. And you shouldn't be drafted for fear. My guy Swayze, he hit me up earlier while I was out with the fam, and he said, Law, there's a rumor, Law, the Eagles done moved for King Henry. The Cowboys should move all the way up to draft Bijan Robinson. I'm like, to counter, no, you don't do that. That's them. That's them. That's how they move. That's how they operated. So let's make things tangible, sensible, right? But don't go crazy with it. Cowboy Nation, I really appreciate y'all so much for tuning in on this beautiful Saturday and watching me talk about the Dallas Cowboys and beyond and who we should get, who we not going to get, who to blame, who not to blame. But one thing I can tell you guys for sure, that by the end of the night, there are going to be some more news. Who going to win, Tank Davis or my guy Ryan Garcia? Who y'all got? Let me know in the chat. Post it down below. We got to rock and roll up out of here. I thank y'all. One love, Cowboy Nation. DC for life. Let's go. The name is Law to the Nation, baby. Y'all know I got to leave y'all with some music. Come on. Where is that? There we go. We up out. One love. It's a draw. Okay, if you go the distance, man, I got Ryan Garcia. But put your money down on Tank knocking him out in the 6th or the 7th round. You need to put it somewhere around there. Oh, my God. Al Kareem says 10th. Okay, no doubt. Okay, reloaded. DC for life, baby. Y'all have a good one.